Media has evolved a lot over the past century, from newspapers to radio, televisions, and smartphones. With these technological advancements, bringing local news to a global scale has become easier. News has never been more accessible. Nowadays, we take this convenience for granted. We hardly think about how much the media has played an important role in shaping today's world. Visual media takes news to the next level. It brings attention to social and central issues in a way that letters on a page do not. Imagine seeing war victims desperately trying to escape their corrupt country. Imagine a hurricane ravaging through a neighborhood, tearing into the homes of people like you. Not only is visual media able to present real-time footage and images, it also invokes real emotions, as if you were actually there. Visual media is life-changing. All it takes to change the course of history is one photo. And that's exactly what happened when Eddie Adams, an Associated Press photographer, snapped an iconic picture during the Vietnam War. It captured a South Vietnamese police chief executing a man suspected to be a Viet Cong officer. This was no battlefield. This was our own ally, calmly walking up the street to shoot a man in plain clothes because he was thought to be on the enemy's side. The contents of this photograph go against American beliefs. No due process of law, no fair trials, just a senseless killing of a man who could have easily been an innocent civilian. People were outraged. The American public started to wonder whether it was a war worth fighting for, and most importantly, if this war should be won at all. This startling image gave Americans a stark glimpse of the brutality of the Vietnam War. It provided a narrative for anti-war protesters and fueled a decisive shift in public opinion. Media brings news to light in an easily digestible way, giving raw information with just a glance. It helps people make informed decisions about the world around us with one photo. Pictures invoke emotions within us that cannot be expressed otherwise. These emotions are what drive us to take a stand and make a change. If you see a photo or video, you have two choices: to look away or address the issue. Visual media is particularly useful for social activism. For example, a photojournalist, Ismail Ferdu, photographed the deadliest disaster in garment industry history, the collapse of Rana Plaza in Bangladesh. The poor working conditions of the garment factories resulted in a massive collapse that killed 1,136 workers and injured about 2,500. The 5-story building housed clothing factories that manufactured for brands including Benetton, Joe Fresh, The Children's Place, and Walmart. The building was designed for offices, but not factories. It wasn't strong enough to bear the weight of heavy machinery. The owners ignored warnings about cracks that were discovered the day before. Workers were ordered to return the next day and were threatened to withhold a month of pay if they refused to work. Sadly, the building collapsed the next morning. The photographs of the tragic collapse were featured in the New York Times, The Deadly Cost of Fashion. This documentary explores the uncomfortable question: how does the Rana Plaza collapse relate to Americans? It sheds light on the dangers of Western consumerism and third world country production. Picture a collapsing building, workers trapped beneath the rubble, dangling limbs of young bodies caught between fallen beams, people screaming as they drag out dead bodies of loved ones from the rubble. Amidst the stone and bricks, fabric can be seen. Fabric bearing the labels of Western fashion brands. Think about how all of this could have been prevented if only safe working conditions were put into place. Think about how big corporations exploit people struggling to provide for their families. Think about that at the root of it all were American consumers, indulging in the sales and discounts of fashion without knowing where they came from. Imagine the fancy stores of New York upscale shopping districts, with windows displaying discount signs to entice shoppers. Contrast that with the crowded, broken-down garment factories filled with young women toiling in inhumane working conditions for meager wages. It is unsettling to see the stark contrast between these two worlds. This needs to change. Ismail understood the value of photography and spreading awareness in a simple way. The photos give voice to the unheard victims, reminding consumers about the cost of their fashion. The documentary received a huge positive response from viewers stating that they understood more about how Western consumerism drives malpractice of worker conditions. This is why we need visual media. It can be used as a powerful tool for positive change. These are just two of the many examples showcasing how visual media has been effective in shedding light on social issues. It is one of the most effective platforms for people to receive information. It is transparent and easy to grasp, allowing viewers to judge for themselves the different sides of an issue. It is much easier to remain ignorant over pages of words, but concrete pictures or video evidence cannot be disproved. Words tell you what to think and do. Photos drive you to make your own conclusions. As the saying goes, a picture is worth more than 1,000 words. Thank you.